often put it this way. In order for us to be in the state that we are in today as people, we have to be out of our minds. We literally have to be crazy. It is necessary for us to be crazy. It is necessary for us to be backwards. It is necessary for us to be maladjusted. It is necessary for us to be disunited. It is necessary for us to be self-hating. It is necessary for us to be filled with an inferiority complex. In a world where the European is essentially about 10% of the world's population, if that 10% is to continue to rule over the other 90%, it must keep that 90% out of its mind. It must keep that 90% in a state of deception. It must keep
Let me start this show over. I apologize. I've been running my mouth for 7 minutes and the microphone was off, and I saw it was off early, and I forgot to turn it on. Again, this is Brian HRap B. Williams. This is the End of the Bench Media. Thank you for tapping in. Salute to my parents, Dolores and John. Without them, there would be no me. Without you, there would be no me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for contributing. You see that, theendofthebench.com. Please forgive the technical difficulty. I don't know why that my microphone is off. Y'all don't even see the microphone, but it was off for whatever reason. I apologize. Now, back to what I was saying. We are falling subject to self-destruction. What is self-destruction? Self-destruction is my definition of black on black crime. Black on black crime is this: when we throw our people under the bus, when we allow the media masses to throw our people on the bus, when they present us with something and we grab it and we run, we put it on the 1 yard line, we go to all the way to the other end zone and we score a touchdown for them, metaphorically. That's what we're doing. We are not doing ourselves any justice by looking at the police blotter, looking at social media, looking at celebrity news, and making thousands, and if not millions of hours of content about the downfall of another person in our community. I understand the concept of I'm just telling the news. No, I don't believe you're telling news. I don't believe you're telling stories. What you're doing is gossiping. I understand you have the right to talk about anything you like, whenever you like, whatever you like, and however you like. But what we have to do is stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe. As I stated 2 days ago, every time a celebrity gets in trouble in the United States of America, what happens is this. What happens is this. The celebrity gets in trouble, or the celebrity has an accusation, and what happens? Millions of people from our community run out there and they make content. You have people laughing at these celebrities. You have people denigrating these celebrities. You have people participating in the burial of these people's reputation. And they use triggers that are traditionally triggers to us. I can do this in time immemorial, when you will find that celebrities throughout the United States of America, black celebrities throughout the United States of America, at some point, what they do is pay attention to our culture. They take bits and pieces of what we say, and then they put somebody in trouble or frame them in a poor way, in a way that they know we look down upon, and then bam, that person's reputation is scarred for the rest of their life, whether they're guilty, whether they're innocent. An accusation or a lie told on somebody never goes away. I don't care if you back map it and prove the liar is a liar. That person's reputation will forever be distorted. If you don't agree with me, I'll give you one example. My personal favorite celebrity in the history of the world, his name is Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy has been accused of picking up transgender people and potentially doing ... Now, you had Shock Jock, Howard Stern, who is a biter of Petey Green, but that's another conversation. Shock Jock Howard Stern had the trans person come on his program and vehemently deny that Eddie Murphy made any sexual advances. He said, man, he asked me that I need a ride, and he offered me a ride. And bam, nobody ever cleared it up. It's been rumors about brother Eddie Murphy since, and he's been accused and attacked ever since that happened. And it is amazing that we allow this to happen to one of our champions. But no matter what happens, you can go even further back with the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was an infidel. He participated in infidelity. He cheated on I wasn't there to hold a light on it, so therefore I'm not going to talk about it. And if I do talk about it, I'm going to talk about how we can handle that at the end of the program. What we have to do is stop participating in the social burying of our people. It is innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. It is not guilty until proven innocent. Now, in the United States of America, when you're black, you're guilty until you're proven innocent. So why would we participate into a system that denigrates us and attacks us? We're going to do it the same way. That seems to be the problem. That seems to be the problem, because I'm going to hold myself to standards created by people who hate me, who despise me, who's done everything they can to do away with people, me and people who look like me. And I'm going to find that okay. I'm going to find that okay. We're not doing that anymore. We will never do that again. Brothers and sisters, it's time for us to wake up. The latest victim of this is one Shannon Sharp. Allow me to say this up front. I am no longer a fan of Shannon Sharp. I stopped being a fan of Shannon Sharp shortly after the Cat Williams interview. Had nothing to do with how Cat Williams handled the interview. It had nothing to do with anything that on that in particular with that. It was the following interviews, whereas he consistently talked about the downfall of Will Smith. He consistently talked about what he would do if he was Chris Rock with other people. Now, these things had happened almost a year before that. And then when people attacked him or criticized him, what did he do? He criticized the community. It's always my people that attack me. No, Shannon, as I stated a few weeks ago, your fan base was 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. And when Cat Williams had an interview, get 90 million, almost 90 million views, 89 million to be exact, your fan base went to 1 million. And guess what? With 1 million people, it used to have 10,000 critics. Now you got 100,000 critics, sir. That's the way it works. It's not more people hating on. I mean, it's not more people in a percentage hating on you. It's just your fan base grew, and it's not just our people, but it is our people that's jumping on a kick Shannon in the face bandwagon. Again, I'm not a fan of Mr. Sharp anymore. I used to be a gigantic fan of his podcast. I used to be a gigantic fan of his sports commentary, and I used to be a gigantic fan of him. But then he started talking more, and I started saying, no, I can't rock with him. But then I come on my platform and denigrate him. Did I say stop listening to Club Shay Shay? Did I say, up until this moment, I even told you I didn't listen to him? It was just the way he conducted himself. I had to distance myself from it. There's other celebrities I've done the same. But what we do is create content, and everybody rushes to their computers, everybody rushes to their cameras, and they decide that they're going to destroy this person or help bury him because he's in trouble. Let's talk about the Shannon Sharp situation. I heard a recording that sounded like it was edited. It sounded very choppy, and it sounded as if, as one of my buddies said last night, it sounded like the person was being coached into saying something. But me, I think it was spliced and cut up. It does not seem authentic. Now, you have other celebrities. I'm not going to say any names. People jumped down and said, ha ha. Now, the only person who I give him a pass. This guy, this comedian from Chicago. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to throw any salt on his name. He made light of the situation. He made light of the situation. And this is what he does, no matter good, bad, or indifferent. So I will give him the grace of just, laughing with him. And I even believe if Shannon Sharp heard it, he would laugh with the young brother. But a lot of these other people came out who had issue with Sharp, who claimed they standing up for they love that term, the culture. But what they've done, all they've done is listen to the situation, and they've attempted to bury this brother. He is a brother, whether you like him, dislike him, roll with him, or oppose to him. He's still a black man. And we need to stop doing that. This is what I said. This is black on black crime, because we are attempting to bury someone for their sexual habits. Now, let's look at history. R. Kelly. You know what? Even before that, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby has been accused of sexually violating women and putting drugs in their drinks. We don't know all the details, and when an accusation of that nature is made, you really don't need to know all the details. But we're just gonna go with that. And I've rarely seen anybody but black people on these screens, whether it be YouTube, whether it be CBS, NBC, MSNBC, or any outlet talk. It's just us burying Cosby. What we could do is since y'all always say, well, they do, well, we could do it. Well, guess what? How many of y'all know who Phil Spector is? Look them up if you don't know. How many of you know who Scott Peterson is? Look them up if you don't know. How many of you know who Jerry Lee Lewis is? Look them up if you don't know. But you don't hear those jokes about those people. You fast forward and you see brother R. Kelly. R. Kelly was accused of violating young people. Again, we saw a video. Some people saw a video. I ain't see the video. Wink, wink. I didn't see the video. But hey, because it's child porn, so I didn't see the video. But if you saw the video, you heard he was having intercourse with a minor, and he yearned on a minor. And people like Dave Chappelle, again, they made fun of it, they made light of it, and there was a little thing, and then it went away. But You have social media consistently burying Brother Kelly. He's this and he's that. He needs to get the, R. Kelly this and R. Kelly that. But primarily it's us. And it was Sean, O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson is in the world of trouble. O.J. Simpson is the face of domestic violence, but Scott Peterson isn't, and his wife he's alleged to have unalived several people. You got Phil Spector, and he's alleged the same thing. They've made an HBO movie about him, and you still don't know it. Why we talk about child molestation? Why don't we talk about Joe Paterno? Why don't we talk about his defensive coordinator? Why don't we talk about Penn State University and the cover up of that? We don't talk about that. Then when you talk about O.J. Simpson, you talk about unaliving your wife. Robert Blake. I was working at a media outlet called Reuters at that time. I remember when the story came across the screen. Look up Robert Blake's wife. Well, OJ is the poster child, and you even getting to the point, documentaries, movies, television shows about OJ Simpson. He's the poster child for domestic violence. But Robert Blake, his wife was unalived with a firearm, a same caliber firearm that he owned. And he went to court, and most of us don't even know that Beretta, Robert Blake, one of the gang of the Little Rascals, he was accused of these things. He died with no cloud over his head. He probably faded off in the obscurity, but guess what? Well, OJ should have played the back. Well, if I'm innocent, I don't have to play the back. When you're guilty and get away with a crime, that's when you traditionally play the back. But our community consistently buries these people. Sean Combs is the latest. Sean Combs, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Puff Daddy, whatever he wants to call himself, Sean Combs. You heard about human trafficking, initially heard human trafficking, sexual assault, but then you heard about sexual toys and lubrications. And our community has talked about sexual lubrications and toys. But guess what? It's this guy who is world famous. He's passed away now. But he's world famous for having young women around his house. And some of the crimes that they accused Dr. Bill Cosby of, guess what? They happened at his house. Nobody talks about the Playboy bunnies. Nobody talks about that. Hugh Hefner was adorned and embraced. And he was a player walking around in pajamas all the time. And all these semi-naked and naked women around him, young women. And he was blackmailing some people. I'll release your information and things like that. But guess what? We fell for the bait. We don't jump on them. You talk about the latest is Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp. He's 57. Why is he messing around with a 19-year-old girl? Nobody said anything a couple years ago when Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, close to 80-year-old men, was having children with 30-year-old women, 20-some-year-old women. All you heard with them is they still got it. They still make babies. Ha, ha, ha. We're trying to destroy Shannon Sharp. We're trying to destroy Shannon Sharp because of that. And like this segment is called, The Trap. We've fallen for the trap. Because like I said 2 days ago, every time one of these situations comes up with wild people, we rush to the internet, we flood the internet with content. We're in the trap now because guess what? Your president, good old Donald, is attempting to pass legislation to garnish the wages of people who are in debt, student loan debt. Well, the sensible and the moral thing to do is to say, hey, well, if you created debt, you need to pay for it. In a traditional sense, you're right. In a traditional sense, you may be right. Some people may agree with you. But guess what? It's this one group of people who've been proudly saying, we're the most educated people in the United States of America. Nobody has more degrees than us. So if you have more degrees than anybody, and you're probably more intelligent than anybody, and you're more educated than anybody, you know what comes along with that? Student loan debt. So you have a lot of these women who are from our community bragging about their abilities and their proclivities, their abilities and their acumen to for academics. What will you do? You attack their pockets. And a lot of these women are single mothers. I'm a single mom and I'm a doctor. I'm a single mom, I'm a lawyer. I'm a single mom and I'm wherever in America, in corporate America. So if I start attacking that money, that reduces their children. That takes their children out of some of these private schools. Some of those private schools And guess what? It cripples those people financially. Or it may just sting them, but some of them will be crippled. So what does that do? That hurts our community because our children won't be as wildly educated as their parents. If your parents graduate from college, if your grandparents graduate from college, traditionally you go on to higher education. So again, it's another attack on our community. But are we paying attention to that, or are we paying attention to Club Shay Shay? And this is a call to the men in our community. So if they start attacking our sisters, we have to step up. None of that, I don't like her. She's my baby mama. I don't like her. She crazy. But you know what? When she did this and you did that, that's the chance you took. So you need to take care. We need to be, as Ed O.G. said back in 1990, be a father to your child. I'm not accusing my brothers of not taking care of their children, but we must come together as a family, as a community, as a group of people, as a nation, to make sure in the event that this legislation goes through and our sisters are attacked, that we're there to catch them. Because guess what? Women have been catching men since the beginning of time. Betty always called Malcolm. Coretta Scott always called Dr. King. My mother always called my father. Your grandmother always did this. When your grandfather's out there making the bacon, guess what? Your grandmother cooked it, kept the house clean, and she was the excuse me, she was the warden of the home. So we can balance this out, and we can no longer allow our sisters, mothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces to struggle in the event that this goes through. This is another moment of contention in which we can save our community. They're using it as an attempt to destroy us, but it's going to galvanize us. Now, what I'm going to do, you know what time it is. It's Black History time. And I've changed my way of doing this. I'm going to talk during the video at some point. And then we'll just continue to do it that way, because I think it's more productive if I do a little narration as this goes on. Check this video out, and I'll reconvene in a second.
What if I told you that some Black people were already free in America long before slavery became the law?
Black people being free before the law of the land. Pay attention, pay close attention to this, because it is important that we
the land. And not only were they free, but they were literate, skilled, and in many cases, more
educated than their white counterparts. I understand the video is buffering right now.
Urbanized and accomplished than many white Americans of their time. This is the part of history you were never taught. We often hear about slavery as the starting point of the Black American experience. But buried deep beneath the mainstream narrative lies a forgotten legacy of free Black men and women who defied the odds, built their communities, and laid the foundation for generations of Black excellence. Click the like button as we uncover the untold story of these pioneers.
See, they always want to tell you that you were downtrodden, poked down, and out of the way. No, greatness is in our DNA. And if we allow them to tell our story, we will continue to be perceived as nothing. Why would you oppress people for decades, centuries, and a millennium if you don't understand their position? Definitely understand our position, and we definitely need to do something about this, and educating ourselves is the key.
The free Black class that existed centuries ago. This is the story of how a small group of educated, urbanized Black Americans shaped this country.
And you will never hear about this. That's why I want you to go.
Only to be written out of its history books. This is the...
I want you to go to there, www.theendofthebench.com, and see this video in its entirety.
True story of America's other Black history, hidden.
You'll be able to watch this video in its entirety. It's buffering, please forgive. And I'm going to stop it if it continues to do
powerful and long overdue for recognition. What if we told you that before slavery was...
Okay, well, as you see, I need you to go to www.theendofthebench.com and watch that video in its entirety. The creator will get the credit, and I'll get the credit for you visiting my website. And thank you for visiting the website. But as you see, the history that you're being taught is not the history that is exactly what it is. It's his story. Now, Kitchen conversations. This is how we resolve these things. Look, once upon a time in America, in Black America, we used to have conversation amongst each other. Social media has forced us, well, has put us in a precarious situation. So all our thoughts, all our conversation, and all our private business is being put on display in front of the world. The people who control the social media outlets know exactly what they did. I put this post up last night on TikTok. They said, the people who created social media are just like the oil companies and the tobacco companies. They knew that their product would do more damage than help. And that's what's happening. Our intellectual property is being put in front of us. That means our enemies know exactly how a lot of us think. They know exactly what we do, and they know how to trigger us. That's why if you ever like a fight on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever platform you use, you're gonna see a whole lot more fights. If you like chaos, if you participate in chaos will be presented to you because they assume that that's what you're into. What we have to do is go back to what we used to do and discuss family business. A, amongst family. B, at the kitchen table, or C, at the metaphoric kitchen table, or C or D. Keep it to your damn self. Have interpersonal conversations, not even on your phone. Start interacting with people again. Reignite your social skills. This is how we combat this. We don't have to participate in the destruction of a Shannon Sharp, or a Bill Cosby, or a P. Diddy, or anybody else, because we didn't help create. We helped create them. We're not going to help destroy them. If they're wrong, then they'll pay the proper penance of their ill doings. We can no longer laugh at these people because we definitely understand that, just like other people, like with the Black Panther Party self-defense, there were erroneous letters sent to their rivals in hopes to incite violence. One, Fred Hampton, and a group here, I'm not gonna say their name because it's not important. It was a street organization, and if you watch Judas and the Black Messiah, you'll see that the FBI sent those people information, and they were intelligent enough to rise above it and meet face to face and create a peaceful situation. We can no longer allow those same tactics to take place here. It used to be on paper, now it's digital. Now it's on social media. Now it's all over the place. We can just simply walk away from that and have interpersonal conversations. Years ago, I used to be part of a Black nationalist movement. And the dude who used to do that, he used to put cloths over the television. He would ask us to turn off all our electronic devices while we had conversations about how to liberate our people. I used to think he was crazy. It's one of the reasons I stopped hanging with the dude. But now looking back, he may have been 100% correct. You may think I'm crazy for even referencing that. But what I want you to understand is this. We are, you know, and I know we're under attack. And once we remove ourselves and our interpersonal relationships off the grid and use the grid for connections like this, a little fun here and there, and then interactions displaying our vacations, our meals, our family interactions, and what it was actually, what its alleged creation is for, then we can recreate the Black community and strive forward for power, excellence, and nothing but great things. What I want you to do is this. Take what I'm saying and take what I'm saying into consideration and do everything you can to make the Black community the best community in the United States of America. This is, as usual, see you guys Monday. This is Brian HRap B. Williams. 2 fingers, 1 word. Please support. Please hit that like, share, and tell a friend because
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why